Hi, Lake Point Church. It's Pastor Jesse, and it's time for tonight's Connect Point. Yesterday was our first in-person service. For those of you who were able to get here, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you stayed home and watched on live stream, we completely get it. Sometimes it's just easier to do that. But a lot of you viewed it on live stream, and a lot of you watched it later on. So I think it's great that people are, looking at their options during this time when nothing really is normal. Nothing has gone back to what it was before. I don't think it ever will. I think we move forward into different things in different places. But we had a great service yesterday. I'm thankful for those that were able to make it. But yesterday I talked in my message, I spoke about moving forward again and how moving forward is very important. Moving forward in the things of God is important, and we have to move forward. We don't look back. We don't try to look back and muse on what happened to us before, whatever it was, whether good or bad. We need to move forward and press forward to what God has for us. So this morning I got up and I was just kind of going through, going through my different devotionals, and this devotional came up. I had not planned on this. There's thousands of devotionals online, but this one is the one that came up for today, and I just thought it was very interesting. Not a coincidence, because I don't believe in those, but are you pressing forward by your own strength or by His Spirit? That was the title of it. And I thought it was a good question for me to ask myself, because I even admitted in my message yesterday that I was pushing forward, sometimes in my own strength, not able to get the gas that I needed to keep moving things forward. A lot of decisions have to be made. A lot of things have to happen. I know some of the decisions that I make some people happy and make other people very upset. And sometimes that's directed to me. It's happened before. But I understand. I understand that not all things can be for all people. It's hard to do. But the question that I ask myself is, are you, Jesse, are you pressing forward by your own strength or by His Spirit? It's an important question for us to ask. When Nicodemus came to Jesus, and now Nicodemus was a Pharisee who knew Jesus and actually believed that Jesus was the Son of God and came to visit Him at night, the cover of darkness. He did not want to visit Him in daylight, knowing that other Pharisees, other people might actually see Him and say, what are you doing? What are you doing with this heretic who calls himself a rabbi, who calls himself, the Son of Man? And so we know that Nicodemus goes and visits Him, and the Lord revealed an important secret to him. Jesus revealed an important secret to him. And you can see this in John chapter 3, verse 8. The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear the sound of it, but cannot tell where it comes from and where it goes. So everyone who is born of the Spirit, so is everyone who was born of the Spirit. And as you know, there are two types of boats. There are motorboats and there are sailboats. There's a lot of other boats, but the way that you power the boats are down to two things. There's the motor and there's the wind. Motorboats have to rely on their own energy. They are generally loud and harmful to the environment as well, but they run on their own energy. They run on what they have, but they can also be very damaging and loud. And I know that when I run on my own power, I can actually be damaging and loud. I know that because I'm running on my own speed. Sailboats, however, rely on the breath of the wind to move forward. And I think that's what Jesus was saying, Nicodemus. The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear the sound of it, but cannot tell where it comes from. We need to have the wind of the Holy Spirit be the one that is pushing us forward into God. As a child of God, you are like that sailboat. You need to catch the wind that you may not see, the wind of the Spirit. You have to let it push you in order for you to move forward. That's an important piece in the message that I had yesterday, is we can't do this on our own. We can't do this entirely in our own strength, move forward. We have to move in the strength that the Lord has given us. You have a choice. You can count on your own strength and your own wisdom, or you can rely on the Spirit of God. Just between us, relying on the Spirit of God is much better than trying to do it yourself. It is possible to do everything through Him. Jesus said, "But you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses to me in Jerusalem and in Judea and Samaria and to the end of the earth." I don't know about you, but I want to be someone who impacts not only my family, but my community and those people around me and the cities around me and my state, my nation, and different countries around the world. I want to make an impact for Jesus. It is possible to do this, but we have to do it under the resources and the power of Him, not in our own. Now, I know some of us might feel that we are weak. Some of us might be physically weak and have different challenges that we're saying, well, how can I be someone that can actually be impactful and powerful? Even if you are not physically able to do something, you can still spiritually be praying for people. You can still be an intercessor and pray for your family. You can pray for your neighbors and people around you. You can still make an impact. All of us can make an impact in some way. Some way. Believe this with all your heart. You can do things through Jesus Christ, who strengthens you and helps you to do it. So be blessed. Be blessed. Now, yesterday in my message, I posed 2 questions, and I'll ask those again today. What are some things that you look back on? Are they good things, bad things, or both? Do you feel stuck in the things of the past, or have you moved on? It's important that we be people that we don't focus on the sins that we've committed in the past. Those have been erased. Those are under Jesus Christ. Those are in the shadow of the cross. We must move forward in the same strength of the cross by leaving our past behind us in the cross. Stop reliving it. Stop thinking this is what I have to do. This is what I need to do. Describe some ways that you can move forward again in the things of Christ. I would challenge you, as you're listening to this, pause it for a moment and describe some ways that you can move forward again in the things of Christ. Do you feel that God is calling you to do anything differently as you move forward? Things in the state are starting to open up. The governor's starting to allow us to do more things. We're going back to church. We're doing other things that we have not been able to do before. So the question is, do you feel that the Lord is calling you to do something different than what you did before? Don't go back. Don't look back and say, oh, before quarantine, that's the life I want to go back to. No, let's take what we've learned from this situation, and move forward in the great things that God has for us. I would hope that you would be blessed, that you would listen to this message, that you would press forward in the strength of the Spirit rather than in your own human strength. Be blessed, be safe, and we will see you again soon.